I don't see how sincerity could be involved in such a silly so-called religion.
He have completely sold himself to the devil. He have no part of God. Everything he do over there is no part of God. Nothing God had anything to do with.
Well, it occurred to me for many, many years that there was a large gray area between psychiatry and religion that was untapped, and no religion had ever been based on man's carnal needs or his fleshly pursuits. All religions are based on abstinence rather than indulgence, and all religions, therefore, have to be based on fear. Well, we don't feel that fear is necessary to base a religion on. The fact that religions for thousands of years have been telling people what they should do and what they shouldn't do according to the basic whims of a person who might be running the show is very understandable. We're realists, we Satanists, but we also feel that a person has to be good to themselves before they can be good to other people. So we feel the greatest sin of all is self-deceit. We feel guilt is a necessary thing, not necessary that it's practiced at all times, but we're stuck with it. We have it in our collective unconscious. We have a certain amount of feeling of apprehension for things we've done because we're taught from childhood not to do certain things. Any attempt to sort of scrape the psyche clean is only going to make us much more, and certainly much more fraught with frustrations and tensions. So what we've done is just reverse the procedure. Instead of trying to free ourselves, we've taken all these hang-ups, we've turned them into useful situations. If you're going to be a sinner, be the best sinner on the block. If you're going to do something that's naughty, do it. And realize that you're doing something naughty and enjoy it.
And they think of it as an evil kind of philosophy until I begin to discuss the philosophy of Satanism with them from the standpoint of view of being opposed to hypocrisy.
Well, that's the conception that most people have, is that they're really evil.
Yeah.
The concept that the Christian Church has of Satan.
Exactly.
Just the opposite of the Christian philosophy is, as most people would think of it. The Christian philosophy would put forth a great love theme, and we would be the opposite. We would just hate everyone.
It's like saying that you have to only hate to be a Satanist. You cannot love. It's like saying that people that aren't Satanists only love and can't practice hate. Therefore, Satanists must practice hate. But that's like saying that just because somebody drinks coffee, they can never drink tea. And people like to believe that, though, because they always talk very much about a curse that's been conjured successfully. It even makes the newspapers. But any kind of a blessing that will save someone or pull somebody through a financial bind, nobody ever talks about that. And it shows that we are right in our judgment as far as human nature and what it represents. Sexual freedom is something we feel is very important as a necessary requisite of the Satanic Church. It isn't the most important thing, but certainly it's an elective. We feel a person should be free to indulge in all of the so-called fetishes, all of the so-called aberrations that they would so desire, as long as they don't hurt anyone that doesn't deserve or wish to be hurt. I guess the two most popular reasons that people join the church is because either they're just disgusted, they're just fed up with the sanctimonious pussyfooting around that other religions have given them, and they're just tired of saying one thing and practicing another, and they like to at least get together with other people. And after all, man is a social animal, and no different than any other animal, except he's probably the most vicious of all animals. And he wants to get together with other people that feel the same way he does. And why not belong to a religion or to a group of people that at least believe in the same philosophy?
What do you derive personally from the church?
A great deal of pleasure. I always get a lift when I come here. I suppose like other people do when they go to church, which I haven't done for many years now. I got a little confused about all the different denominations, and I couldn't take it anymore. So everybody thought they were the only ones, and I just couldn't go along with it. And I retired into nature, and that's how I live today. And I feel that I'm usually very serene and quite happy this way.
We feel that the so-called carnal side of man, or the carnal nature of man, is the most important. We feel the soul is just a pittance. It's something that's sort of wrung out. Like if you squeeze an orange, you get a few drops of juice out of it, and certainly this can be the essence. But this doesn't mean that the orange is any less important simply because the juice comes out of it. We feel that the body of man, the carnal symbolism of man, is by far the most important. We feel true transcendentalism is to rise above the inventions, the puerile inventions of man for his own masochistic needs, perhaps, in the way of spiritual or soul guidance, and recognize his baser instincts, his carnal existence, as the end byproduct and as the epitome, the height of all great creation. In other words, this is the opposite. It's the very opposite, very adverse of all other religions. And it's high time a religion was born that recognized the fleshly existence of man.
The Church of Satan has chosen Satan as its primary symbol because in Hebrew it means adversary, opposer, one to accuse or question. And we see ourselves as being the Satans, the adversaries, opposers, and accusers of all spiritual belief systems that would try to hamper enjoyment of our life as a human being. We are the adversaries to all the spiritual creeds and all the people who would say you have to take your cue from somebody else, you have to obey. We create a heaven and hell here in our own existence, and it's completely on our own shoulders as to how it's going to come out.